Welcome down to the Devon Koi pond on what is a beautiful sunny bank holiday Friday morning. It's absolutely gorgeous this morning. We're going to run through the last of the filters, the bio beds, see what they do, how they work on the pond, what they get rid of, and how they keep your water nice and happy for the fish. Happy water, happy fish. So this morning, after a bit of a warm up, we've got a pond temperature of 14 degrees. You see why I've got the funny hat on in a bit. It's so I can walk around and show you everything as we go. So we'll start with the vortex and go right through everything quickly again. So here's the vortex running with the answer in it, which is self-cleaning, cleaning itself. It's on a 100 micron screen. That's doing a smashing job. Where it comes up here into the UV, I have got an air bleeder on there, because I used to get an airlock in the pipe, so I've made a homemade air block there. I can just unscrew and let the air out. We come over into the first easy pod, K1 micro. Come into the second easy pod, K1 micro again. The pipe at the back is from my skimmer. At the moment the skimmer's still bypassed and running through there, but I can run it into this one. And we get on to the two bio beds here. Now, this is K1 moving. I've got 180 litres of it in these two vats. It's turning over with an air stone. It's a little bit vicious at the moment because I've got the bubbler turned off in the pond. If I turn that one on, it slows them down a bit. Just all the air is coming up through here at the moment, and I just don't want to touch the valves because it's a lot of playing around to get it right again. So we'll hop down and have a look on that side. So over here we can see the two moving beds. They're churning away all the time. Now in the last one here, this has got 40 litres of alpha grog in the bottom of it with some sponges on top, and returns back out down through into the pond. And down here I've got another pot of alpha grog. There's another 40 litres in here. This is the bag on the end of the skimmer line, which is this one. This is just collecting, as you can see. Poopy. Then we're into the veg. Now we went into the veg filter the other day. The watercress here is really the one that's starting to go now. I think that's what I'm going to end up favouring. The monkey face is starting to shoot up, but this stuff, I've grown it before, veg filters, and it's wonderful. Now you can see the roots starting to come out the pots here. These will grow out across the water and munch up the nitrates, which is the final cycle bit. Okay. You can see here in the pot, this pot's got no hose in the bottom of it. The water's in it, goes in a pipe, comes up through the media, out into the veg filter, and then on through the system. Also, the beauty of using something like this is it's a sediment tank. The gravel, I washed it quite a few times before I did it, but you can still see the sediment on the bottom of this tank, which I can hoover out quite easily. I could get a lot of settlement distance across this tank as it goes across. Here's the bottom of my sump. This one, everything comes down through all the pipe work and can run all the filters, come back down through this one and into the tank, and the vortex comes round and into the tank. Now with everything shut off at the top, all the outlets shut off, the water's blown back up, and there's another higher pipe that rises up. And this was my only way of getting rid of water, to bring it up and into this rainwater pipe. So it actually comes up and into this one. Summertime I can put a valve on here, pipe outlet on the end, and water the garden, or lawn as I'm calling it now, because that's all we've got here. It's my top up hose. It's one of the chlorinator that's up the drive. And this is a pond from the lower side of the garden. We're a good 2.5 foot in the ground here, and I can come up to level with the pond. Upset the fish a little by turning their water off, and they were fed half an hour ago, so they're not hungry. The bottom drain's a 4-inch in the bottom that runs to the vortex. I didn't have an aerated bottom drain. I didn't want to hassle that, and I wanted to be able to move the air stone around, so I've got an air stone, separate air stones in the pond that I can just pop around when I need to. The 4 Aquaforte Vero pumps pumping away. I'm actually going full bore at the moment. I'm still trying to clear out the remnants of the blanket weed. There's a lot of fine particles in the water, and it's blocking the first easy pod here every day. The vortex is absolutely full of it, and the screen on the answer is just about keeping clean. Right. As an extra, because there's quite a bit of mess sometimes down on the bottom of the pond, I do have a retrofit bottom drain here that I can just plug on with the end of the piece of pipe to the skimmer outlet and pull things off the bottom as well, which is a real bonus. So now 180 litres of K1 media. 180 litres of K1 media should, in theory, handle a feeding rate of 30 ounces of food a day, which is more than my little blighters will ever eat. The pods here, they individually rate them at about 4 ounces of food per day as a maximum. Right. With the grog I've got as well, there's a good 10 ounces of food that can handle. So my total filtration here, if I wanted to feed the little blighters so they were really plump, would probably be about 50 ounces of food a day. Now there's no way they're going to eat that, but they can have all that they want. This is the thing, people put easy pods on ponds and they will not handle a fish load. 4 ounces of food is not a lot. It's okay on a kind of ornamental pond or a grow on pond, but a garden pond, it needs more than just one of these. One of these will not do the job. You need moving bed media as well after it. No, I didn't favour the rotary drum filters. I'm a bit old school and I liked the vortex. It was simple, very little to go wrong with it. And it just didn't work in with my build with the height of it. So that's why I went this way. It's very much a DIY filter system, although I've used filter pots from manufacturers, they're all made up and not really doing what they were supposed to do in the first place. They've all got something extra in them. The only one that is close to the manufacturer's how it would be run is the last pot on here. That one is supposed to have alpha grog in it with the sponges on top, but at some point I think I'll also go for K1 in that. But the stuff's expensive, and I think I've already spent enough on the filter system, and the fish can handle everything that's going to be chucked into it anyway. What I do have floating around now is a few of these spare. I've got two that fit the Easy Pods and will keep in K1, and one spare one that fits and will keep in the K1 Micro. I'm going to do these as a giveaway at some point in the near future when we get close to some decent number of subscribers. So if you've got an Easy Pod and you want a disc to keep your K1 media in place and stop it flying out the top, I'm going to be giving some away. So if you've stuck with me through all of that, including the funny hat, you've done well. Koi keeping's about keeping the water. You have to keep the water right and have a good gallonage for the number of fish you've got. They can grow very big in the right conditions. Given the wrong conditions, and they'll hang around half the size they can reach. The small pond I had them down in the garden was a little bit tight on space for them. It stunted a lot of growth on some of these. They could have got a lot bigger. They've got a lot more gallonage here than I had down the bottom. I have 1,000 gallons more. They've got a lot more room. So I'm hoping that they might put on a second spurt and grow a bit more. But don't keep fish in a pond that's too small, and look after the water. That's the main thing. The water's everything. Good water, healthy fish. Bad water, you'll be treating for all sorts that can go wrong, and you can lose your fish quite fast that way. So have a good time ponding, look after the water.